It's extraordinary, right? Satoshi gave such a gift to the world, right? What are the odds that you would engineer something like this, release it into the world, have it take hold, and then the founders walk away and leave it as a gift to humanity?
Incredible. Incredible.
Bitcoin is back in the game. After 2 weeks of constant struggle and pain, Bitcoin has finally managed to cross the $40,000 mark and rose by 10%. During this time, big champion and guru of Bitcoin, the CEO of MicroStrategy, Michael Saylor, who is also a big name in the cryptocurrency space, bought an additional $25 million worth of Bitcoin despite the crypto crash. 56-year-old Saylor is a known proponent of Bitcoin. In July last year, he had said his company's strategy was to invest in Bitcoin for the long term, as the future of big tech is digital property. Recently, Saylor interviewed Jack Dorsey and shared his thoughts on Bitcoin's price trends in 2022, as well as volatility and current market standing. Hello and welcome to Money Talks. In today's video, Michael Saylor examines in an exclusive interview with Jack Dorsey what Bitcoin means to the world, what Bitcoin means to the corporations, with much in between. If you like the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and turn on post notifications. Let's dive right into the video. Michael Saylor spoke recently about the importance of Bitcoin and digital wallets and what makes Bitcoin a better option than investing in traditional stocks.
So you've got a custodial wallet, and I can buy stocks, and I can acquire cash, and I can acquire Bitcoin, and it's super slick and super easy to use. And I use it. I think it's just awesome. It's kind of sets the standard for how you ought to do a really good mobile digital wallet. The difference here is you're thinking you're going to give people the ability to take their Bitcoin and take it off the Cash App network and take self-custody. And that's something that's not going to happen anytime soon with your Apple stock or any kind of security, right? I mean, maybe, I don't know, in theory, anything's possible, but I don't see it happening anytime soon, maybe ever. I don't know. And even if you did, what would it mean to take personal custody of a stock certificate? You still just own a share in somebody else's company. You don't own your own property.
Exactly.
And so really the deep idea here is, I guess, Cash App is kind of the on-ramp, off-ramp, or the tool for the consumer, and then they can get self-sovereignty of their own property.
Yeah.
More recently, he told Bloomberg, said Bitcoin's slide from a record high in November does not worry him as the inflation is rising. Saylor said that the best defense against inflation is a Bitcoin standard. This shows that billionaire Michael Saylor has a firm belief in Bitcoin, and to prove it, he just bought $25 million worth of cryptocurrency, which has fallen 45% in value since its November 10 high. Saylor told his 2 million Twitter followers that his company MicroStrategy had purchased 660 Bitcoins in cash at the price of $37,865 per unit as of January 31st, for a total amount of $25 million. His company, MicroStrategy, holds almost 4.8 billion Bitcoin pile on its balance sheet, according to Bitcoin treasuries.
The ability to take possession of your own property, or your own digital property like Bitcoin, is what separates Bitcoin apart from most other digital securities and the like. But your openness to being willing to let people take self-custody is what gives the entire ecosystem a certain ethical, moral superiority against alternative investments or alternative assets. And from my point of view, it's what allows me to think out 100 years and think, this has the ethical, the ethical and the moral superiority that makes it durable for a century. And I don't feel that way about other forms of digital securities or the like.
Exactly. It's predictable. It's deliberate and it's predictable. I mean, Bitcoin gets a lot of knocks, especially in the mainstream media, the technology mainstream media versus Ethereum in terms of speed of development. Ethereum moves very, very fast in comparison. But it's a question of, what is the ultimate outcome of those moves? Bitcoin is very deliberate about what goes in and what stays out. And that does mean it's slower, but those slower things tend to last, and they tend to be a whole lot more predictable in terms of the direction they're going. They tend to be a lot more secure. They tend to have far better uptime and usability than anything else. And that's not to say that there's a ton of great ideas in the sandbox everywhere and happening in all these other projects. They're great sandboxes that will test ideas very, very quickly. But that deliberateness is what makes Bitcoin, to me, the potential for this internet's native currency, and gives so much confidence.
During his interview with Square chief executive Jack Dorsey, Michael Saylor and Jack discussed that Facebook should have spent more time focusing on making Bitcoin accessible to its users, rather than on its own stablecoin project, has ditched its Diem stablecoin project, and is in the process of selling off assets. The project launched back in 2019 under the name Libra, but failed to take off, even after a rebranding exercise due to regulatory issues. At MicroStrategy's Bitcoin for Corporations 2022 conference, Dorsey told Michael Saylor, "This whole thing with Libra and then Diem, I think there's a lot of lessons there. Hopefully they learned a lot, but I think there was a lot of wasted effort and time." In particular, the Block CEO said he felt the time spent on the Diem project would have been better served working on Bitcoin and improving access. This is one issue Bitcoin faces at the moment, which needs addressing, according to Dorsey. He said to improve this, there needs to be more focus on Bitcoin from companies like Facebook. He said he also believed that this had been Facebook's original plan with Libra. Since the announcement of his departure from Twitter in November, Dorsey has gone ever deeper into the crypto world, even renaming his payments company Square, which facilitates Bitcoin purchases through Cash App, to Block.
If you look at fintech and social media companies over the next 3 to 5 years, do you have any thoughts or a forecast for how rapidly they'll get involved in Bitcoin, or to what degree they might?
This whole thing with Libra and then Diem, I think there's a ton of lessons in. They tried to create a currency that was owned by Facebook, probably for the right reasons, probably for noble reasons. But there are also some reasons that would indicate trying to get more and more people into the Facebook ecosystem. And they did that instead of using an open protocol and standard like Bitcoin. And I think, hopefully they learned a lot, but I think there's a lot of wasted effort and time when those 2 years or 3 years or however long it's been could have been spent making Bitcoin more accessible for more people around the world, which would also benefit their Messenger product and Instagram and WhatsApp and all these things. We have this open network right now, and it's usable. It's not accessible to everyone. It's usable. The easier we make it, the faster we make it, the more approachable we make it, it's going to better everything, including everything that Facebook intended to do with Libra. So, yeah, I mean, I think it changes a lot, but we just have to be open to not having to own the thing. You don't got to own it to get value from it.
So the real message is study the protocol, understand the protocol, embrace an open, permissionless global protocol. You built a bunch of proprietary applications on top, like Cash App, that were enormously successful. They've been great for the company, but you also leave an open protocol, and you're supporting the open protocol so people can take possession and you can be compatible.
Yeah, and giving back to it, like making sure all of our products, all of our Bitcoin products going forward, TBD, the Bitcoin miner we're doing, the Bitcoin wallet we're doing, they're all open source. They're all going to be made in public because we've learned. I've learned a lot leading a company and building a company, and I've learned a ton for Bitcoin, and we're hard forking down to the Bitcoin path.
Awesome.
In late 2020, MicroStrategy became the first publicly traded company in the US to buy and hold Bitcoin. Since then, the business intelligence software maker has accumulated around 124,391 Bitcoins, worth about $4.8 billion at current prices, according to Bitcoin treasuries. Saylor's bet has yet to turn sour. MicroStrategy spent just over $3.75 billion to purchase its huge pile of Bitcoin, and even though the value of Bitcoin has fallen dramatically, the company has already realized a strong capital gain. Saylor said on Twitter that MicroStrategy now holds 125,051 Bitcoin. This decision to buy more during the crypto crash suggests that Saylor continues to believe that Bitcoin has a rosy future ahead of it. Unlike many retail investors, the companies that have invested in Bitcoin over the past 2 years have not yet lost their bets. And that brings us to the end of today's video. What do you think will happen to Bitcoin in 2022? Will it continue to rise or will it crash? Tell us in the comments. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll see you soon with the next video. Thank you so much for watching.